anyone else. As Chris just introduced me, my background is pretty much about e-commerce. So I'll be showing today a lot about e-commerce, the landscape in Vietnam, and I'll discuss then about the marketing, how we actually allocate our budget overall, but also by channels. So this is from my experience when I was working with the investors. And eventually we'll discuss about the future. So let's dig into this. So for the last 5 years, we saw a lot of big brands springing up, like Lazada, Hot Deal, Yumbo. And they have a lot of big headlines. Growing well, like Lazada just closed a $250 million funding just last December. And Zalora just got like $112 million, but that was in 2013. So they got a lot of money, a lot of funding. More importantly, when we talk about Vietnam, the market size is now around like $2 billion. And as you can see, it's like growing like 300%. So the GDP in Vietnam is like 5%. And e-commerce is just like booming. So there's a lot of opportunities in Vietnam. But there's a dark side to this, and I want to show the other side today as well. Whenever we operate an e-commerce website, there's also a very high operating losses. I'm going to show you this. And you're going to have to sustain this over a pretty long period of time. So I'm going to use this because this is public figures. And the CEO of Rocket Internet just released this like a few months ago, so I'm going to rely on this. So I'm going to show you real numbers. And when you take a look at Lazada, they're only making 47 million euros at the moment for the first 6 months of 2014 for the 6 countries they're currently operating in. There are many other different websites, but I'm just going to focus on Lazada. And this is like the 200% like year over, well, semester over semester growth rate. 100%. So when you talk about Zalora here, they're just here. They're making only like 44 million euros, and the EBITDA right now they're losing 33 million. So this is like the money they're losing for every sale. You get also like Foodpanda. They're like much smaller right now. They're losing less money because of inventory for the. They're not really like a retail website. They're just delivering the food, so it costs less, and then there's like less losses. So now I'm just going to focus on those 4 KPIs, I would say. In Vietnam, roughly when we make an order, we generate an order, the Vietnamese consumer is going to spend roughly $10. For Rocket, they use like average basket size, maybe a little bit higher here, and they focus a lot on customer acquisition. So I'm going to heavily emphasize in the second part. So why? Because like when we got investors backing us, they're going to look at the marketing spend, the digital marketing spend, and we can track real time. We get all the numbers in our database. We know how much money we spend real time as well for the online marketing. And they're asking us every week, like how much money you spent and how many customers you got. So what we do is pretty simple. We look in the database and we see how many new emails we got and how many people actually push on buy. This is how we call it new customers. Because in the database, when there's like the line, there's like a 0. And when it goes from 0 to 1, this is a new customer. The cost is pretty simple. You take a look at how much money you spend. And the repeat purchase is pretty simple. Like when you have a new customer, and this new customer reorder, so it goes from 1 to above, then this is a repeat purchase. So we use what we call the core analysis. So you take a look at the overall cost, you take a look at those new customers, and you see how much money they spend. And when we take a look at the blue line and the red line, when it crosses, it gives you a really good idea of how much time it takes to get your money back. So this is how we actually manage our overall spend. So let's say for the Groupon model, our target usually was around like 12 weeks So we were expected to get all our money invested within 3 months. So the easy way in the beginning when we were doing this was like, you just gotta cut the budget, then you get a return faster. It's actually not the case. Sometimes, so here you see like it's $20,000 for cost, but sometimes when we spend even more money, then the revenue and the performance is getting better. So it actually really depends on how you do the marketing, the type of campaign, and the seasonality as well. Like Valentine was crazy, so we got a really quick return. But sometimes we get this type of board where we never get our money back. So we got a lot of pressure on Tuesday, 7 p.m., explaining why this is not going so well at the moment. It's not really a pleasant time. So it's pretty simple for the overall budget. Every week we work on that. So based on the time it takes to get the money back, we adjust our budget, and then we just optimize and actually select carefully the channels. So for the channels, this is like the two basic framework we're using in the e-commerce. It's like traffic, conversion rate, and cost per order. So I just picked like 4 channels because I'm not gonna just make a listing of all the potential channels we can select. So everyone knows Google, Facebook. Criteo is like a display for retargeting. MailChimp is just like email marketing, so we just send the newsletter. So I just, we look at the 3 KPIs, like high traffic, conversion rate, and the cost per order. And they're all different. So you gotta juggle for the budget and allocate more or less money based on the targets and the performance of all the different channels. And they actually vary. It's very dynamic. It just doesn't, it's not very static. Like Google's gonna perform pretty well for some time. And then when you get some bidders coming in, the CPC is gonna increase, then your cost per order will increase, and then it's gonna be less and less profitable. So this is something we gotta handle. Facebook, 5 years ago, like it was like a heaven. Like the CPC was like 1 cent. So I enjoy a lot just to buy a lot of traffic. Now it's over. So this is pretty difficult to handle. Criteo is actually interesting. Like they retarget all the people, but the cost per order is pretty high usually. So this is something you gotta take into account. And for the MailChimp, Groupon models and retail, they will use email a lot because it's very cheap. So this is the main reason why all the people are sending newsletter to you guys. So because it doesn't cost money. So depending on the goal and the objectives of each company, like when we're having high growth, we're actually going to focus maybe more on traffic because it's going to show like really good numbers for the investors. Or when we need to actually cut on the budget, we focus on conversion rate and cost per order. So depending on the goals, we just like select the right strategy on a monthly or quarterly basis, and we just execute on that. Okay. So what's next? I'm just gonna share with you like some findings and some research I just got. For Vietnam, it's very likely that the economy is gonna grow more and more. So the BCG has just said that middle class is going to double for the next 5 years. It's a pretty good sign. And I just read that by the end of 2015 or beginning of 2016, we eventually going to get 4G. So this is a very strong factor for e-commerce because it's just going to load faster. And well, we read like 36% of this penetration rate of 36% right now for the smartphone. We hope, and this is an assumption of mine, that it's going to be over 50% within the next 5 years. So there's like 2 big visions in e-commerce right now. This is a CEO of Rocket Internet in Berlin. And I just want to show you, this video is just like 45 seconds long. And he's explaining his vision about the future. And if you can actually start the video, please.
Where I were a king of a country, and I could do everything from scratch again, like in the Middle East, for example, yeah. So one of sheikhs, yeah. I mean, they can do really everything. Then I would do the following: I would have no more shopping malls, just one big distribution center. Everyone gets delivered like video on demand, yeah, by your TV and so on. You just product by demand, and they just have in the shopping malls. They just entertainment, the skiing. In Dubai they have the skiing. and the Ferrari, yeah? So the girls can look at the products, but they can only buy at home or mobile and so on, yeah? Why stores? Stores, apart from looking and being a little entertained, yeah, I see no value. Who wants to carry something home if you can order it? Yeah? Who wants to kind of like go back for return if you can just give it back? Yeah? I don't see what's the value. Why should I go into a store?
So this is a pretty extreme vision of the future where you won't have any stores, shopping malls, and you won't go shopping anymore. So the thing is, it's true, the e-commerce is pretty big. It's like $300 billion, and this is a screenshot from Wired. And when you talk about retail, you have to put things in perspective. Retail is actually more than $4 trillion, actually. So when you put things in perspective, like e-commerce is only like 6% of retail at the moment. And from all the research and the new stuff coming out at the moment for 2015, it seems that Amazon is going to have to go offline. They start actually investing in offline. And Macy's and all the big department stores now actually going online, and they're embracing the digital. So it doesn't seem that the vision of the CEO of Rocket may materialize pretty soon. So that's my personal take. I would believe in the second vision rather than the first of having only distribution centers and no shopping malls anymore, because, well, it seems like female love shopping and in real places. So this is my take. So for the three different things where I just mentioned, like, it's very important if you want to launch an e-commerce website to get strong funding. Those guys from Rocket, they're like JP Morgan and all big investors putting like almost $1 billion for Lazada because it requires a lot of funding. For Vietnam, there should be some strong growth rate for the future, so it's still going to grow. And offline retail will actually remain massive, actually, for the future. So my name is Lam, and I'm doing mobile shopping app. You can see my email, and you can write me an email. Thank you very much.